Ooh. Good golly, Miss Molly. This is just the beginning. So, I've recently started a pretty epic hike in the mountains of Bosnia. It started off a little bumpy right at the start of this trail. I took a wrong turn and I freaking trekked, hey? Through freaking thorns and slippery rocks and just dangerous shite. And then I trailed back and I found the correct trail. And now I feel flippin' amazing, hey? Don't fall off the mountain now, Pete. You're here to enjoy, not to die. So, after a day of the most hectic hiking I've ever done in my entire life, like you take the most hectic hike I've ever done and times it by 20, and maybe you get how hard today was. Good Lord. I've just arrived at this lovely little wooden hiking hut deep in the mountains, and I'm very happy to be here. It was getting very dark. I was racing the sunset to get here in time. I was a little bit scared, not gonna lie, but I knew things work out always, one way or another, and I arrived here in perfect divine timing, actually. Now it's time to eat a lot of food in order to make my bag lighter for the next few days of hiking mountains. Over and out. See you tomorrow. So here I've reached a very interesting part of the journey where there is a warning for landmines left over from the war. So basically I got to be very careful to keep on the path or I could get myself blown up. How exciting is that? Righto, watch your step, Pete. Stay on the path, mate. Don't mess about here. Fuck. There, I nearly slipped and fell. Oh well. I've been a little bit stressed about water for the last little while. You see there's this map I have that shows you where the springs are, and pretty much the whole way it's all been dry. There's been no water. So I was getting a bit concerned about my lack of water. Still had some, but I was being very careful rationing it. Anyway, along the way I found a whole bunch of very tasty raspberries, which I was using to quench my thirst. And now I've stumbled across this wondrous spring over here. It looks pretty clean, tastes pretty amazing, so I'm pretty happy now. Alright, so it's pretty much the end of day 3 of this hiking mountain journey. Made my way to this hut called Frutak or something like that. But I won't be staying in it because I don't have a key for it. You need to arrange that before starting the hike. So I'll be in my tent, which is great. It's raining a bit at the moment. I think it's nearly 5 in the afternoon. There are raspberries growing around here, which is just amazing. And tomorrow I shall be summiting that peak on the far left over there called Selina Glava, which I'm quite excited for. And that is the highest I'll get on this journey. An exciting thunderstorm has just started. I'm way up alone in the mountains with my tent, and I freaking like it. I like it a lot. I'm a little bit concerned though, I met 2 other hikers today. You don't see many people on this trail, which is really nice. But I bumped into 2 hikers today, and they decided to go and summit that peak this afternoon, which I will be doing tomorrow. And yeah, I hope they're alright in the thunderstorm up there. Sure, they'll be fine. Must be quite exciting to be up there in a thunderstorm. So the storm got really hectic. It was hailing and gosh, so much rain and thunder and lightning and the works. So I grabbed everything out of my tent, ran to this old little hiker's hut, very run down, but luckily sheltered enough from the water. I'm not sure if I'll have a tent after this is done, but holy moly. I said I wanted an adventure. I sure got one. Golly goodness gracious me. Holy moly. So this little hiker's shack thing pretty much just saved my freaking life. And I just experienced one of the most gnarly storms, and this thing wasn't even supposed to be here. Like, I scoped this trail out on the maps and shite, and that little hiker's hut down there is marked on the map, but you need to get a key before starting the hike to go in it, which I didn't do. So I was like, hey, I'll just pitch my tent, no worries. But goodness gracious, the storm I just experienced, it was not possible to stay in that tent. I'm about to go down and assess the damage. But basically there was a huge pool of water. Like, I was in my tent and I could feel my floor was wobbly like water, and it was crazy. And by some miracle, this hiker's hut just happens to be here. It's very run down, but I don't care. I'm so glad it exists. But seriously though, that storm was crazy. There was hail and everything. I cannot explain. It's beyond words what I just experienced. And it's funny, like the whole day I was like, oh no, water, like I don't know if I have enough water, blah 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 blah. And now suddenly the sky is like, you want water? Here's water, freaking loads of it, I'll drown you. Anyway, what fun.